What should we be looking at as voters in candidates for the September elections?
You probably should look at previous councillors that have served the community, councillors that are progressive, councillors that are looking to the future of making Orange a better place to live, raise your children, etc., find jobs. And the majority of councillors that are there now, the majority, are probably thinking down those lines, and that's certainly what I've been doing. I got on council to sort out this massive water problem that we've had, and hopefully that will be very soon, to expand the city centre, to approve DAs, to get the ball rolling and to get Orange moving. We can't turn Orange into a retirement village, and I think that's probably been quoted by me before, that if we're not careful, we're going to lose a lot of the younger generation. They're going to grow up and say, look, there's nothing here for me, Dad, and I'm going to Sydney or Melbourne, Brisbane, wherever. Look, I think we've got a beautiful city, and we should just sustainably expand and not put obstacles up to developers, business people that come to Orange. We should help them achieve their goals so they can pass on the finances onto the people that live here. And I'm sick and tired of so many developments that have been knocked back in the past, and one, for example, is the corner of Hill Street and Summer Street. That was delayed to the point where I understand that the proprietor went broke over nothing. It was over streetscape, if I'm not wrong. We had the same problem with the Summer Centre shopping complex, which is now, after a long battle, has starting to take off now. But they're the things that I want to see improve, and I want to see is get it right the first time.
Who do you see as slowing development of the city?
Well, I'd have to say, I'm not going to name anybody, but there are some small groups, minority groups in Orange that make so much noise that, they're the ones. Without naming them, I think people will know who they are, but every time something comes up, there's a reason for it not to be developed, not to be expanded, there's always a reason that's negative. And we've got to get rid of the negativity in this city. And I've said that before. We need to look closer at what we can do to help people, and not constantly give so much air to the minority groups. The pipeline's a typical example. I mean, that's going on and on and on. I mean, that pipeline needs to be put in. There is no other option. And the raising the wall is another one that we're going to do. Council is going to raise Super Park Wall, another metre. But the pipeline is the only option for Orange. We've got the money's there. We're doing the studies, we're nearly there with the studies, we're nearly completed. But again, we've got the minority groups that are trying to do whatever they can to stop that project from going on. And what concerns me is that the reason behind it could be that once we do secure the water for Orange, it might expand, and we wouldn't want Orange to grow having water security. Well, yes, we do, and that's why we're putting it in, because we don't want people to come here and rent and not buy houses because Orange could run out of water.
What will you be offering yourself to the voters in your bid for re-election?
Well, I'm not going to change what I've already offered the voters. My phone number's advertised. Anybody can ring me with any issue regarding council matters. I've never not returned calls. I've opened myself up to that. I'm quite happy to do that. And that's about all I can say. It'll be up to the voters to think whether I've done a worthy job. I may not be the most vocal in council, but I do believe that a lot of the vocals, a lot of the ones that are vocal in council, it's just for their own sake. I mean, I think the council meetings could probably go a little quicker, but we have the people in there that, that like hearing the sound of their own voice at times. Yeah, I'm not going to change the way I am. I mean, I don't believe I've done anything that doesn't support why I ran for council. I don't know if I've mentioned the airport extension, but wow, what a beautiful touch-up that's going to get. A $4.9 million cheque given to us by the federal government to expand the airport runway, the complex itself, to cater for larger planes. I mean, it won't be long, we'll be able to fly from Orange straight to Queensland or Western Australia or anywhere in the state and possibly the world. Now, if that's not a plus for Orange, I don't know what is. So they're the sort of things that I've supported and I'll continue to support. It's not about just getting on council for the sake of it, because I'll tell you, the money isn't what people might think it is. It costs me more in petrol than what I get paid a month. But I'm happy to do it because I want to see Orange continue to grow. And I want to see work for our children. I want to see I don't want to see any poverty in Orange. I'm very disappointed with the Department of Housing. I will throw that in the mix because that has gone on for far too long. One builder's gone broke, another one's been appointed. Well, that's not good enough. It is not good enough for the people. There are people that are desperate. Winter's now upon us. We're getting -5 degrees at night. It's terrible. But what can we do as a council? Well, we can rev them up a little bit and say, hey, you've made all these promises, get on with it. But I don't know how far we're going to get with it.
What do you think are going to be the big issues in this election, if any?
I don't think there's going to be any. I think there's been a lot of hype about the pipeline. I think there's been a lot of hype about potholes. And I think that a lot of the people that are making the noise are ones that want to be elected. Now, I don't see it that way. I think to be elected, you need to probably take a different view and be supportive of your colleagues, work as a team. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Not everyone works as a team, but when we have worked as a team of councillors, we certainly have got motions put through quicker than normal.
What about the ticket process? Do you think that that should be discontinued now?
Yeah, I think it should. I think it should. When you vote for a ticket, you're not really voting for one councillor. We have factions in council, unfortunately. I hope that stops. It will be a better place to be. In that chamber, if we all were talking about the community of Orange, what we were elected to do or to fight for, and that was for the city of Orange and not political. I think politics has played a big part, which I was disappointed with. The
referendum on whether the mayor should be popularly elected, what do you think of that? Do you think that's a reform or is it a danger to the council?
I think that could be a danger in the sense, this is my opinion, in the sense that if you had a bag of money, plenty of money behind you. I'm not saying it would work, but it certainly would give you the upper hand to spend, a swag of money on the campaign to come into Orange and be elected. From a point of view where you haven't had any mayoral experience in the past, I think that could be really dangerous. I think before any councillor becomes mayor, should do an apprenticeship. When I first got on council, I was, to be really truthful, very lost with the procedures involved, when you speak, when you don't speak. Nobody really taught you. But if you come in and you haven't got any experience behind you, you could become a joke in there. And
do you think the captain should be elected by the team?
I think the councillors, yeah, I do. I think the councillors should elect the captain or the mayor, because they're the ones that work with that person, whether it's he or she. It doesn't worry me as long as the person that's elected by the team, which it should be, is elected because of the background and because of the experience. But, you know, saying all that, that's only my view on it. It's up to the people of Orange, but I certainly don't agree that we should be letting anybody run for mayor or the mayor be elected by the public. It's a bit hard. I don't know that that's doing the right thing. I don't think it is.